Hey, is this me? I can't tell.
Yo, what's up? This is a review of the new Hundredth album, free. I actually have to pay for it though. But yeah, what to say about this album? I've liked this band for some time now. Really, it's kind of a small sample, but I think my favorite release of theirs is the Resist EP. It was only 6 songs, but I felt like every song had its own characteristics in a way. Each song felt different, from Shelter to Demons to even Wage was a really cool song. And so I kind of had those expectations going into this. That's a lot of what I was looking for, each song to really have its own character. I know it's a lot easier to do with just 6 songs compared to a full album of 11 or 12 or 13, a full album of songs, and this album had 11. So I understand to multiply that by about 2. You kind of really need to work a bit harder to make each song feel individual. I feel like just to get right to it, I feel like that's what I was a bit disappointed with in this album. The album wasn't bad by any means. It's one of those situations where you feel like the band has that potential to do more, and when you've seen that maybe in a smaller sample, I guess that ultimately that's what I was a bit disappointed with when it comes to this album. Just to get right to it, I felt that the songs were really good, but sometimes I felt like I lost my place. Maybe it's one of those albums where about 6, 7 songs in, it's not, what song is this? It's just, if I'm driving, it's hard to, like, stay focused on with some albums I'll be driving, but I can really listen to something, and I don't necessarily lose my focus. I didn't necessarily lose my focus, it's just at times I felt, my focus was drifting away a bit. It wasn't very, as magnetic as I would have liked it. But that's not to completely trash this album, to say that it's bad, it all sounds the same, every song sounds the same. Not every song sounds the same. I thought Unravel and Inside Out were 2 of my favorite songs, but they were relatively early, 2nd and 3rd tracks in the album. So it's not saying that, well, it's not really going against my point that where I lost, it was about 6, 7 tracks into the album. It was early on, so I still felt very focused. Unravel was the first song they put out from this album. I thought it was really cool. Chadwick does this thing now that's like, it's like that scream, but kind of singy thing in the way that he hits these notes that are almost like singy. It's kind of in between there somewhere. I thought that was really cool. He has a really powerful, strong scream, as always. He's always been really, vocally talented with such a thing. My favorite thing from this album is the meaning behind it, like the lyrical focus, this type of message is coming across the album, this like freedom of consciousnness, like setting yourself free from things, whether it's possessions or becoming free from yourself. I thought it's always been a very interesting concept to me, and I thought that was, it's something that they've been doing for a little while now. I really like the lyrical content of this album. Yeah, musically, that's where I'm iffy about. Vocally, it's really good. Lyrically, it's really good. Great message, but musically, instrumentally, I feel that's where I don't know. I don't want to say I don't like it, but I want to say I'm almost in not entirely in no man's land, but somewhere on the fence with it, because, like I said, at some points in the album, I feel that, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I feel like this is, if anything, this is a compliment to the band. I feel like the guys in this band are they've written some awesome songs and they're very talented. I guess maybe my expectations were a bit too high, or I'm having my expectations are a bit too high, but I'm looking for something that maybe wasn't there enough. Again, not to say that every song sounds the same, but it's that thing where a band is too talented. I feel like they're too talented to put out this album, and this is a decent album, but I feel like they're too talented. They should be putting out a really, really great album. I still feel like this is going to make my top 10, and I feel like all I've done is say bad stuff about it, but vocally it's really good. Some of the songs are really, it's like a 100th album. It's if you've ever listened to these guys before, if you haven't, it's really quality hardcore music, melodic hardcore. Some of the songs like Inside Out, I thought really had this like nice, really cool, like, I don't want to say like the heaviest thing, but like this heavy kind of like really cool hardcore vibes to them. Meanwhile, songs like Unravel have this like this hardcore upbeat, but it felt more like memorable and not entirely. This is more melodic hardcore rather than just like beat down hardcore. But I felt like they had some points in this album that I'm not saying beat down because I don't know genres too well, but it's like these really cool, heavier, more aggressive parts that I feel were really cool. So there was some variety. It's just not as much as I would have wanted. Ultimately, I think this is a pretty good album. It's just one of those things where you look at a band and you say, I think these guys are really good, and this is a good album, but I almost think they could have put out something a little bit better, and I feel it's more focused on their potential and how I view them as this better band than what they put out. Because I feel like going along with the lyrical content message, they could have put out something that musically sort of follows that message, such as doing something different, breaking away from what you're comfortable with and moving into something new, just trying out some really, really new stuff. And they kind of stayed in their comfort zone a bit too much. Not that that's bad by any means, because they're a really good band. It's just sometimes you kind of look for bands that kind of step outside of their comfort zone and push to see where the line is, because you never know where the line is until you cross it and see what doesn't work and what. So I guess that would be cool to happen on the next album, maybe an EP they put out as something that's like trying something new. Maybe with an EP that would be really cool, but I would give this album like a I don't want to say 7.5 because I feel like it's 8. It's worthy of more than a 7.5, but I feel like 8 is being too generous in saying that it because what I wanted was, I guess it's fair to say it's an 8 out of 10. I would give this album as a rating, because what wasn't there was something that I wanted personally, and I feel like personally the want that I have could have really pushed the boundaries and made it better, but ultimately I can't deduct points based on just a personal want, although I feel that would have benefited them, and it would benefit them. But just judging the album alone, I would say it's definitely an 8 out of 10. Again, really good, strong vocals. The songs are still there. It still has some pretty really cool songs, rad songs. Lyrical content, all in the plus area, and just the minus again is this personal want, I guess, opinion with it. That's my review of the new 100th album, Free. check it out. Definitely come up, develop your own opinion on everything and check it out. Yeah. Have a nice day. Night.